Boobies! Boobies!
Hey.
Hi,
Welcome.
hello.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Joshua.
And we're your
Boobies.
boobies. We
Mhm.
are your booby bays.
Yes. We are your horror loving fantastic duo.
Horror loving fantastic duo, spooktacular, spookalicious time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the word that's used in there.
I love the way you say it.
Spookalicious.
On the
It's like
emphasis.
I'm like choking.
Like you're
on
like
something.
you're about to get murdered and you're like and your
yeah.
life flashes before your eyes.
Never mind. What I was going to say it's not appropriate either. My
But
mind's
yeah,
in trash today.
it's okay. I wouldn't have you any other way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you see my lip?
What happened?
Lip filler?
Oh,
I'm kidding,
nice.
no.
Oh,
There's just like it's a little.
I was like, what a weird. I was like, maybe
Yeah.
just the injection site is swollen.
No, yeah, it's just like a little
No, stop
like.
squeezing it. It hurts me for you.
No, well, it doesn't. It doesn't hurt at all. It's just for some reason like came about. Like I thought it was just like a reaction to like the lip gloss I was using, maybe.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'll figure it out. But
Who
I feel
knows?
it, so it feels a little funny.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
Now I
right.
see it.
Stare at it.
Anyways,
so today,
if you haven't figured out, we're gonna cover Scream 5.
Scream 5.
Five
cream.
cream.
Yeah, that's what I like to call it.
Yeah,
Five
we're
cream.
all about creaming here.
Yep.
We
And
are.
so we're gonna be talking about the 5th installment in the Scream saga franchise. Yeah. Which I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah,
I just watched it over the weekend.
I think we gotta. Yeah, I
Ish.
saw it. I saw it Saturday.
I say weekend, but I saw it Monday.
Close enough. Your weekend.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
weekend.
because you're off on Mondays. So
Mm-hmm.
I saw it Saturday at 1 p.m.
Mm.
matinee
Love a good matinee.
with my old horror movie bud Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan.
He was always the person who'd go with me to watch horror films because, well,
Other friends didn't
no
wanna go
one
to
else in
liked
our
horror movies.
lives liked them. So
Yeah.
like his now fiance, congrats to my old podcast host Megan on What's Your Excuse? Yay! And Ryan, they are now engaged. But she hates horror films. So
Okay, gotcha.
she's really just she's not a fan of anything that could invite something into her. Like
Yeah.
when you're opening up yourself
Your
to that
psyche,
kind of world.
like
yeah.
it. A lot of people believe that it allows like other things to enter, and yeah, I get it.
So-
Influence is big, and I mean, honestly, what are the Scream movies about? Is the movie's influence?
That's right.
Yeah, this movie especially.
But I honestly had a great time watching it. That Cinemark is just so nice now.
Oh, it's
Sponsor
really nice.
us, Cinemark.
Get
Waco
us,
Cinemark.
Yes, get us sponsored, please. Go to the Waco Cinemark.
That thing is nice. The
got
way I dropped
recliners.
AMC so fast. I was like, bought.
Literally.
Wait, oh fuck,
Oh my
AMC does
God.
Shutter.
Yeah. My friend the other day said ANC had to walk so that Cinemark could run.
That's right. Man, remember when it was just Starbucks?
Shout out
though?
to Sadie, yeah. And so yeah, for real. But anyways, yeah, it's a nice theater. If you want to go watch this movie, I suggest to go there.
Yeah, it was
Pretty dope.
rather enjoyable.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to say the boo rating yet, but
No, yeah, we'll get there. But I enjoyed
I think we
myself.
need to go
And I
full
think-
spoiler.
Well, yeah,
By
let's
the
go
way,
full spoiler.
like that's what
Yeah.
we do. If you're listening to this episode,
Hopefully you've already seen the movie,
or okay, yeah. So
if you want to get into it and know if like you'd want to go see it, we'll tell
pause
you.
now. Oh yeah. If you still want to go see it and you don't want us to spoil it for you, pause right now. Go book your ticket at Cinemark Waco, and then
And come back to this
Come
very
back.
second.
at whatever, we're about like 4 minutes and 20 seconds
Mm-hmm.
in. So come back and you've been warned now. So if you're ready for spoilers, see if you like it, cool. But from 4 minutes and 30 seconds on, it's spoiler hour, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil. We're coming in like some spoiled milk. I don't know. Going out. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not a phrase.
Some chunky milk. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That. Very that. All right. So that's horrifying in itself. So yeah. So spoilers all the way.
Okay, did your trailers have any horror films?
Actually, no.
I was like,
I don't think there's
typically they tailor them, but yeah, I guess
that.
just not a lot
it was like
out.
a lot of like 2 rom-coms and like
that Marry Me one looks dumb as fuck.
Channing Tatum has a lot of work going right now because he was like in 2 of the previews. I'm like, okay, collect your checks.
Yeah. And so did that other guy who was in. He was in 2 previews back to back. I don't know, but that like moon landing one or Moonfall. He was the main guy in it, but then he was like a side guy in one of the movies previews right before.
Oh, okay.
And at first I made a joke. I was like, "Is that the same guy?" And then because he just looks like your kind of basic white dude.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I was
and Ryan was like, "Oh yeah, he's actually getting."
By the time I had got there, I missed a couple previews because I was getting soda from the concessions. Yeah.
I actually bought candy this time.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know why every time I watch a movie in the theater, like I just want like
something
a root beer.
No, I also bought a water bottle.
Want a root beer
because I am just not a fan of root beer.
But
I
so
support
sorry
your life choices. I had to get one of those fat ass Dasanis because I was hung the fuck over from our Scream-a-thon / birthday party for me that we had on Friday night,
which was so much fun.
It was so much fun. We will obviously we'll give y'all more heads up than we did last time.
Yeah,
but we want to do more kind of streamings like that.
Yeah,
screenings like that in the future.
Screamings.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely gonna plan ahead and have some things lined up so we can enjoy some movies together.
Yeah. And talk about them together because it's fun when y'all message us and tell us about it in person. But when you see one of us. But I feel like I'd love for us to have a whole.
Or we literally
discussion.
just like screened it on a big projector screen and like we were literally just all talking and like
commentating
on the movie and like
having a good time. Like it wasn't serious. Yeah. And so if you hate people who talk in the movies, maybe
don't show up. But like it's like a time and place kind of thing. Yeah. It's like that's the whole reason why we're there.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were here to just have a fun time. And yeah, honestly, it was so great. And but I was so fucking hungover because I was also out of my sleeping medication. So I just like didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I called a friend and talked his ear off for like an hour and a half after everyone left my place.
Okay.
And then I think I was still probably finishing wine. So
you were ready to karaoke all night.
I was. I woke up at 11 and then was like, fuck.
Choices.
Yeah, because I was crossfaded too.
Choices. Oh yeah, that's right.
My dad on Sunday.
Happy birthday.
My dad on Sunday goes, "Who is that one guy in your video that just looked gone?" And I was like, "That would be our friend." I don't know if I can say his name on here, but
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I was like, wait, was it me?
No.
Was I the drama? I remember.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Josh is seasoned. He looks normal. Like,
like right now.
Yep. I was like, he basically just looks the same as always because, well, he functions like that.
Yeah.
So. Anyways.
Yeah. So we got ourselves a movie about Scream again back here. So I just like really loved the opening. We're gonna get into it, right? The opening sequence with Tara and like the basically paying homage to the opening of the original Scream, which a lot of this whole movie does, running throughout the whole entire movie.
Does a solid job of going right back to the original.
Literally, which is what the whole movie's about. And I really enjoyed that detail, and I really like felt like it was giving me something like new but old at the same time. Very something familiar, but like with a whole new twist to it. I
loved it. First off, Tara, fantastic actress.
Jeanette Ortega, yeah,
she was amazing.
Ortega, she was really great.
This scene, I mean, at the beginning, I was kind of like, I wasn't like completely sold with her acting, but once she's in the hospital and on, I was like, oh. Damn, like this girl's good.
Yeah.
Because she's got that one scene where she's yelling at her sister and she's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
For her to leave.
Yeah.
Because of.
And I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, I mean, I don't know how old she is, but she looks small.
She's like a teen actress. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was
she's
like,
that old. Yeah.
Hey, go little girl, go little rock star.
So yeah, it was I really enjoyed it even from the get go because it's like how I was saying playing on the old, but like you have like. I love how the phone rings, right? And she doesn't answer it at first.
I was also like,
because that's
they have
like,
a landline.
well, also same, right? Because it's like at this point, a lot of people don't have those anymore. It's just cell phones. But for the sake of purposes of the movie, I guess they did.
Yeah, they kind of needed it.
Yeah, exactly. But
I
also
did
just,
like how there was two phones.
And actually, there are people who still have.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
landlines,
not obsolete.
Yeah. So it's but it takes it there. I love that she didn't answer it though, because it's like nowadays it's like, who does that? No, if you don't know a number, because it said literally unknown caller, you'd let that shit go to voicemail.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry to you if you're in a dire emergency and you need me to. You're calling me from some random phone number. I probably won't pick up. But leave a voicemail. I'll check it immediately.
I'll call
usually,
you back. Yeah.
That's how I determine.
That's why I say in my voicemail, just leave me a voicemail and I'll get right back to you.
Yeah, like deliberately screening my phone.
Unless you are a person I'm not going to get back to.
Exactly. So yeah. So I just really liked that. I liked how when they were on the phone, she was on the phone with Ghostface. He's talking to her about movies, and at this point, they're able to reference like all these newer movies.
They really spit off some. Yeah.
What else was?
It made me want to go watch Babadook again.
Yeah, which was our second main character's favorite movie, Tara. But yeah, I loved how she was mentioning that, and he's kind of going hereditary, and
I was like,
they're going back and forth, and he's like, oh, but those aren't as good as like, a good like slasher or something like that, and she's just
teach
like,
your own.
Yeah, and exactly, and she was just saying how like, no, it's like elevated horror. So I loved how they commentated on that.
That there are different kinds of horror. Like the Scream franchise is not. It's not scary. It's a slasher. I mean, it is like if that was in that situation, yes, 110% would not be chill.
Yeah,
but like they're not.
Which is what I like for me personally is what the Scream movies do for me is like I do feel like if I were in that situation or put myself in Sydney's shoes or whatever, and like this killer keeps coming back and back, like that's some fucking wild shit.
That is. Yeah. Yes. Oh, 100%. And
it's kind of like The Strangers. Like I really love that movie. One of my favorite horror movies too.
I love that film as well
because it also makes you at the end, like even back then when it came out, it was like 06 or whatever. You just feel like this could really happen. Like someone could just literally walk up in my home.
I'll save that story for when we cover that film. But I have like an instance where I was midway watching it, I got freaked the fuck out, and so. I will say this film did lead to I feel like it gave me a lot of new stuff to be paranoid about. I was like, we already know that I'm a big proponent for lock your doors. And I think I mentioned previously in one of the episodes about Scream in the trailer, I was like, I've already seen Smart House. Like, I know how those electronic, like, I don't trust that shit. I think it's a wonderful feature for when, yes, you're in an emergency and you do need to lock all of your doors at once. But I'd already have all of them locked. This is not a problem.
Yeah.
They're already locked.
Because you're Caitlin. They're going to be locked.
They're going to be locked. No one getting in my house ever. And then B, like, that's just terrifying. Apparently, it's relatively easy to hack shit.
Yeah.
Like, people just, like, watch some YouTube videos on it, and they can hack shit. And so,
I'm sure.
I don't know. Like, that's just, the idea of that is very
and if someone wants
unsettling.
to do something badly enough, like a killer they would find a way to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die regardless, probably. But if someone's trying to kill me, they'll probably succeed.
Yeah. Did you notice that Jenna was also wearing like a similar outfit to like Casey? Like it was like that tan kind of sweater.
Oh,
wasn't it?
Yeah. I guess I thought it was more of a pink.
It might have been more pinkish, but like.
But it was
the style
similar
of it.
Cut.
Yeah, the style of it
The
really
V-neck.
gave me like, oh wow, they're really trying to play it back to that. And so and then her whole whenever there's that whole situation where they're going back and forth between like unlocking and locking the door. Oh yeah, that's brutal. And then because the anticipation,
and there's already blood on the screen, right? Because she had opened the door.
She opened the door and he slashed her.
Yeah, got her in the tummy.
That looked like a really deep cut.
Yeah.
The practical effects in this movie were really good.
They were, except for one part. Well, practical. Sorry, you said practical. Yeah, it's not practical.
Okay.
There's one thing I didn't like.
We'll get to it. And then, she's like doing that. And then finally she gets the phone call again. And he says something like, are you sure I didn't get in before you locked the doors again? And then bam, she gets attacked.
He said, how long do you think it took? Like, yeah.
Do you think, line, or that essence.
So also, sorry, y'all, in the event that you didn't get this from the beginning, normally we have pretty detailed notes we take.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not those assholes who are going to pull out our phones in the middle of the theater and take notes. And then it's a theater. It's way too fucking dark to see pen and paper in there.
Yeah.
Especially during a horror film. Like, everything's dark.
Very that. And then
so,
the phone was too bright. So I got a few things in, but then at some point I was like, okay, I can't do
I
this.
just didn't even try. I was like, we're going to remember it, hopefully. I know my ending takeaway, and I know how I feel about it as a whole. Yeah. So if we miss some things.
And we're going to leave some, and that way, and also I kind of like that idea too, because we might hit like some main parts of this, but like we're not telling you this movie play by play. So there's still a lot of things that you're going to like.
For you to discover.
And enjoy on your own without like being like, oh, well, I already heard about that. Yeah. So it's kind of like the major points. But yeah, so the whole opening scene though with him attacking her or they attacking whoever was behind that situation. Yeah. We'll just refer to Ghostface as they from now on up until, and then we'll give you maybe a reveal at the end. We'll see if we want to, but because I think we can talk about it.
We're gonna. I also would like to say from the get, I had the two Ghostface pinned perfectly. Yeah. I knew immediately. I was like, it's that motherfucker and it's that motherfucker. And then there were some other times where I was like, okay, maybe this person. But like the whole time I was like, nah, my gut feels right. Like, we'll get to him in a second. But
I love that.
I mean, I was shocked. I told Ryan as we were leaving, I was like, I never ever get the killers right. I was like, I told him that's like the whole first movie, even watching it again, I suspected Dewey the whole time.
He really plays that don't know what I'm doing character bit pretty good.
And so I was like, it's fucking
until we
Dewey.
realize that's his character.
Yeah, and then he's just is. But
Dewey,
like, I was like, these films do a fantastic job of making me really, really, really think it is everyone. And then maybe it's just because I'm so fresh with it right now because we've watched all four in the coming weeks. That I was able to kind of see their plots and stuff. But
it's like layers upon, it's like a cake, Scream is. Yes. Like, honestly. And the layers of which they build upon, because they all call back to the previous movies. In some way, you know? And so,
it's really amazing. Like, I still just to this day cannot get over
it's a whole universe.
Meta and how perfectly, like, Metaverse. There's just no really plot holes. I loved it. I love it. And anyways, back to the opening.
Even as like maybe some people might, because I know like there's some people who think like it's kind of absurd, like the way they might go back like with Scream 3 or something like that, how they kind of like.
But I think that's what makes it amazing.
And it's the way that
I can understand their viewpoints.
Yeah, I understand the viewpoint, but you can't say that they don't do a good job of threading it all together. Yeah, because it makes sense.
Yeah,
like
again, tightly woven blanket. That shit ain't got no holes in it. Yeah, it's good. So anyways, once he gets in, after he says that little line, and he's like, you know, and they start fighting, and it gets pretty bloody.
He is
when she
stabbing
kicks him,
the crap out of her.
He is. I was shocked that she survived. Is alive. But damn, when he fucking snapped her, they snapped her leg. I'm gonna imagine it was probably him since she was filming What's Your Face. But that could have been a pre-recorded video. I don't know. But he.
It was pretty brutal. He really
was a nasty snap.
Snapped her leg.
It gave me some
her
Saw
bone
vibes.
Came out.
When hadn't they already shit on Saw at this? No, I'm sorry, that was 4.
That was 4. Yeah. But yeah.
Hey, maybe.
I mean, it's still there. It's all in the same. But yeah, her bone literally like broke out of her skin. Brutal. Damn, you could tell she was in so much pain. And then she's trying to crawl away, and it's the way that like he's just brutally stabbing her.
Yeah, and I guess maybe it was before he snapped her ankle. She had kicked him or something. I love, and it was in the trailer. This part was in the trailer, but where he stands up, and you're getting the view in between the. I guess I'm assuming it's like the kitchen island and the counter, and his head's cocked, and the way he stands up, like that is menacing. Yeah, it is terrifying. If
it's like looking at prey.
Yeah, and even in that moment, I was like it kind of gave me chills. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
A lot of
that's pretty fucking.
Most of the deaths.
It was a good shot.
And most of the deaths in this video, in this one too, minus the one with the dude at the car, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was kind of really quick. Gave me like, not like more gory or anything like that, although there was a substantial amount of blood, but like just gave me like these killers to me were like, feeling in a way, a little theatrical, and in a way that like the other killers didn't. Like to me, like it was very like it just seems so dark sided in a way.
It is.
Where,
it
like,
was twisted.
Yeah,
and clearly these people were unhinged.
Yeah. And then really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like like true serial killers. Like they got off on this.
Not just for like even really like a vendetta or revenge or anything like that. Like other Scream movies, they just literally were crazy. Yeah.
And they met. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that.
And so that all happens with little Tara.
He stabs her a lot, and then it goes right to Scream.
Yeah, Scream, just like all the other movies.
And it slashed it. Slashed it in, right?
Slashed it in.
Yeah. It was good. I was like, I think I went, okay, yeah, I like that.
Me too. Same.
A little bit out loud. Because, I mean, I am still one of those people who, like, a little bit will kind of, I'm not completely silent in a theater, but I'm not talking loud to where people are going to, like,
you're like to yourself or to your friend.
Yeah.
Right next to you.
And I'm like, nice. Okay. And I feel like in horror films, more people do kind of talk anyways, because most of the time they're already screaming.
You're reacting to something.
Yeah.
And once again, I mean, the cinemark is pretty big and spacious, so
we were spaced out.
Unless people were like right next to you to the side in your same row, like
you're not hearing anything.
And so we get to. I think then it's what we get to meet Sam, and she's
at her job.
She's outside
the bowling alley,
taking some pills. Yeah, probably for some antipsychotic is what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
which we find out a little bit more later, but clearly she's on some sort of medication.
And so then her boyfriend comes out, which is Richie.
Yeah,
played by Jack Quaid, and Dennis Quaid's son. If you don't know that,
that makes sense. I see it now in the face.
And so, and his facial expressions, like the way he moved his mouth, I'm like, yeah. So, it's the way he makes a little boner joke. Well, she makes the boner pill joke, and then that kind of.
And he says like something like, "I don't need."
Very corny.
Or
you're my boner
boner pills.
Yeah. And so she gets a phone call, and
literally the moment he sat down though is when I went, "It's him."
That's the killer. Yeah.
Like he sat down and something about his whole vibe. I was like, I ain't. And then like later as Dewey goes, "Always suspect the love interest." I was like, and then once that was said, I was like, it's this motherfucker. For a little bit, it did have me thinking it was Wes because of because at the beginning, so Tara is messaging Alexis, right? Is her name? Amber. She did a phenomenal job too. Yeah. She really did. But she was messaging Amber, who is her best friend, and Amber said something like, "Is Wes still bothering you?" Yeah, and because Amber had said also that Wes was calling her, kind of thing, and so then it kind of is planting some seeds of doubt for Wes there as well.
Because he kind of seems like stalkerish.
Yeah. But then once, like with the whole situation when he called her sister, and then once we saw him, and then also I just have a soft spot for him. Yeah. As an actor.
I forget what's his name.
Dylan Minnette.
Okay. Yeah. From 13 Reasons Why. And
13 Reasons Why.
A lot of other things.
Yeah. And then I'm obsessed with his girlfriend, Lydia Knight. Anyways, she's amazing. And, but so I was like, oh, I can't be him. And then also his name was Wes. Yeah. Which was such a good. Yeah. Because then they have a toast for him later. And they're like, for Wes. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you just know all of them were just going like, for Wes. Yeah. Yeah. But once I saw how he interacted with Tara at the hospital and stuff, I was like, yeah, no, it's not him.
Just seemed like a lifelong, like,
I was
childhood
like, he's
caring friend.
Such a sweet little baby. Yeah. Who clearly does like her.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyways,
he calls Sam and lets her know that Tara was attacked. And I love how you just said that Tara was attacked.
Yeah.
And it's just very like, okay, what happened?
Point blank.
Don't make some details, which I'm sure they covered. But like us as the audience is just like,
what?
Okay. Yeah. She was fucking brutally stabbed.
She was stabbed multiple times.
Had her leg broken. Like, because after watching it, like, it was pretty brutal. And I really enjoyed it because it gave me very much, like, the death scene.
It was a much longer opening sequence than, well, maybe aside from Scream 4 with the meta. But.
Yeah. Like, the attack itself, though, kind of reminded me of Scream 4, though, whenever her friend got attacked in the bedroom across the way and how brutal that was. Like, and which I really enjoyed in that film. And I was like, I wish there was more of that. And this movie gave me more of that, I feel like.
Good.
Ting ting.
Ting ting.
Which comes up later.
It does.
Yeah.
But so she gets that phone call and then we get her traveling back to go see
Woodsboro.
But it then pans to our classic Woodsboro High shot.
Yeah.
In which
where we get that scene.
Took you back is like a warm, fuzzy feeling.
It does.
I was like, oh.
Because it's just like the original. And then we get that little scene where all the friends are talking about what happened to Tara.
Yeah, we meet the new friend group.
And it gives you very much that scene when they were at the water fountain from the first movie of them kind of talking about what had happened. And it was really good. I liked the retro feeling to it.
Oh shit, what's her name? Mindy.
Mindy
Meeks, played by Jasmine Savoy Brown. She
was phenomenal the whole movie.
She was, and she was just
a great actress.
Well, what if it is fucking like she was just so deadpan,
very much so
the whole time,
like unfazed, unbothered, like always felt like she was 2 steps ahead. Yeah.
So there were a few times where they were like. That maybe she could have been the killer. Yeah, I know. Ding ding. Sorry, the lights are on a motion sensor out here, and Mike stepped out to make a call, I think, and so the lights went dark off in the studio.
And it literally feels like Scream 2 when they're in the studio and like
shit.
Ghostface could just pop up.
Yo, we're about to get murdered.
There's literally nowhere we can run. Like,
yeah, we would be fucked if somebody came in here. Should we lock that door right now? Because now there's a big old glass pane.
Okay, we'll be all right.
We're gonna die.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Like my immediate thought, lock the door.
I'm glad these aren't live, because then someone in like come in like 15 minutes and know that we're like
and we couldn't escape.
That's hilarious. So yeah, back to the movie. So what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Okay, this is where it starts planting little seeds of doubt for a lot of the characters.
We have some. What was her brother's name? Chaz or Chad?
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah. There's little
Chad.
Like, he gives you like the very like
Martin. I think is the. I was trying to see if it's cut off. It's too long for. I can't see. It's just Chad Meeks. Dash Mar and then Mindy Meeks dash Ma. So I can't tell what their full last name is, but they are, as we find out, Randy's nieces and nephew.
They're twins.
Yeah, they're twins. And I was like, Randy.
Yeah, I know. I love how Randy was still like honored in this movie and called back to.
They had to. So good. But yeah, so they're going through and they're just being like, well, maybe you're the killer. Maybe you're the fucking killer kind of thing. And giving you little bits of things. And then weird homeboy shows up. Like an actual fucking stalker.
A greaser dude just like chilling, and they're like, well, maybe he did it.
And he's like, they were like, they fucked once or something, or summer fling.
What was that character's name? His girlfriend?
Her name was Liv.
Liv, yeah.
Liv McKenzie, played by Sonia bin Amar.
So there's that kind of little second line plot of like him getting introduced, and for a reason here in a bit, but of like
he was really
him kind of stalking her,
quite literally an irrelevant character.
Yeah, for the
in
most
all
part.
Honesty, because I mean he was kind of stalking her, but I was just like,
if that would have been cut out, it wouldn't have lost any. Like it didn't add nor did it really delete anything. Like you know what I mean? It was just kind of an extra bit of information.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like, and I mean maybe kind of giving you a red herring to like maybe it could be that person. Are you?
Yeah. What?
No, you're good. I thought you were looking at my lip.
Oh, no, I'm leaning away so you can't hear me swallowing the beer in the mic.
I was like, oh, your eyes, because they like darted right here.
Oh, no, I'm looking at you talk.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm not
My
looking
bad.
at your lip.
I'm sorry. I was talking like with the list because it's getting in the way.
Oh, I talk with the lisp all the time.
So, yeah, it's pointing the finger at him maybe in a way to being Ghostface, but
if he had some sort of relation with maybe Tara, I would kind of have gotten it more. But quite frankly, this girl's an irrelevant character
as well.
However, though, it did give me the like vibes that possibly she could have been.
Yeah, well, because here in a minute they all say they're gonna
stalking. Actually, because she was one of the few that kind of popped up in my head a few times.
It was like a 25%ish kind of.
Yeah, because when here in a second they're talking about all going to visit Tara because they've just gotten out of school and they're going to go visit Tara at the hospital because she's awake. And so they were all going to go, and she decides to hang back. And so that was my first like,
why are you hanging back?
Why are you not
There's no
going?
explanation.
And then especially when an attack happened in the hospital, I was like, I don't know about you.
Because she wasn't accounted for. I mean, they all eventually weren't accounted for, but she was like, what are you doing?
She was extra.
That was my first initial, like, first person to being like, oh, what are you doing there? Yeah. And so we have
And sorry, speaking of which, though, Liv is dating Chad's character.
Yeah, which is Mindy's brother.
They're dating.
And it also got mentioned, because this comes up later, that they aren't having sex.
Yes. Abstinent. But she had hooked up with
the greaser dude.
Vince.
So
Schneider
it's not like she's
is
a virgin.
his name.
Yeah.
Kyle, played by Kyle Gallner.
Yeah. And so, anyways, we get to the hospital then, and I think that's whenever Sam comes in, and she meets all the friends up already that are in the room with her sister Tara.
We find that she has babysat Wes and the twins. Yeah.
And so she's known them all since they were little. And so it's the way that she also doesn't, like, Amber obviously maybe moved to this town or whatever, right? Because later it says, ever since my parents bought this house. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
So you can tell that, like, she didn't grow up with them, so Sam didn't know her like that.
Yeah.
This new girl only knows what Tara has told her about Sam while Sam was gone, for...
Exactly.
By the way, Sam has been gone for 5 years from this town, kind of like cut off all ties and left her family and, yeeted on out of that hoe when she turned 18.
Yeah.
So...
As most of us do.
And so, it's the way that Amber kind of at first also gives you very, like, this snarky, very overprotective, like...
Yeah, weirdly overprotective.
Yeah, weirdly. For Tara.
I don't even really, like, want to reference the show because I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. I'm not enjoying it. I've been trying to watch it for a long time, but Us.
Oh, wait, Us.
That.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe with that one guy who's like a stalker and everybody's fantasizing and like romanticizing him, and I'm like,
you mean you?
You. Damn it.
Like,
God damn it. Us is a great film.
Yeah. And I was thinking about, like, This Is Us, and I'm like, wait, what?
I've literally done this so many times. No, I turned off This Is Us in the first fucking like 20 minutes because Mandy Moore starts dancing naked pregnant. And I just, for those of you who don't know, I have a weird fear of pregnant women.
There you go.
And pregnant bellies make me nauseous. Yeah, and I just couldn't look at it. And so I turned that off immediately. And I never tried again. But... that one.
You. Yes.
You, Josh.
Okay.
No, but that one, I just, the way it felt like, with what's her face's best friend, being obsessed with her, kind of gave me those same vibes.
Yeah.
And so I was,
you could tell she could be a little crazy. Maybe.
Yeah, I was like, something's not right about her.
Or I felt like she was in love with her.
Yes,
and that's
I
what
felt like she was
very,
in love with her.
Okay, there's a motive there.
Yeah.
Like,
that was what I thought. Turns out she wasn't, but it gave me those, like, I am obsessed with this person, like, unhealthily.
So Amber's a bitch.
We hate her. Played by Mikey Madison, who did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, she did a great job.
She did,
especially towards the end.
Especially at the end, she was like, I was like, ooh, okay, girl, you are batshit.
She plays the character well.
She does. I loved it. She did so good.
And so that's whenever, I guess, what Sam says that Tara wants a moment with Sam and asks everybody to leave, and so, like,
and she's like, you came, and Sam's like, fucking of course I came. You got stabbed.
And so then at a certain point, I guess there's some holes here, but Sam leaves, right? Because she's gonna go.
Yes. Did we also mention how Tara just, like, they were talking about the elevated horror, but Tara was like, I don't like the stab films.
Yeah.
So then I thought that was just a funny. She was like, I saw it maybe once. It's just not good. Yeah. Which I feel like is like the vibe for most of the Scream films.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Even though they are so good.
Yeah. To us. Some people don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Anyways, I just thought that was so funny. But yes, she asked for a moment alone. And then they had asked her boyfriend, because Jack Quaid, his name is Kirsch. He doesn't even have a last name. That's a psychopath. You don't have a last name?
Kirsch. But she called him Richie, right?
Well, then what the fuck is his name? I'm so confused.
Yeah, they called him Richie.
Then why does his cast say just Kirsch? Where does Richie come from?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she called him...
Who knows? I don't know. This was Saturday. I forget days immediately. But anyways, her boyfriend, he had come with her because he's like, I'm not going to let you go alone. Which another thing, I was like... The way that he delivered that line for her at the bowling alley, I was like, yeah, no, sir, bless you.
No, I kept it in. Y'all could hear me, like, I'm about to let it go.
Aggressively smelling your like? It's like
No.
weird, but okay. I'm gonna let it happen.
That doesn't feel too far off for me. No, I was trying to hold back that sneeze, which I did. Congrats to me.
Good job. You really did a good job.
That was really dramatic.
But yes, so
Yeah.
Rich, we're gonna call him Rich. If nothing else, his name's Rich because Kirsch is too weird to say. But Rich was asked to stay out of the room, right?
Oh, that's right.
And so then Sam leaves, and then she goes to go make something, and she's
taking her pills.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And she goes to get some water, and it's the way that
it's like
she
the little break room.
drinks
for the
water
hospital.
from the faucet.
Yeah, I was like, who does
That's very
that?
unhinged behavior.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, no.
Yeah. So it kind of gave me like there's something off here too. And then in that very moment,
She lifts her head up, and we get
see
in the mirror. We see Billy Loomis, Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich, yes.
And this is what I didn't like.
Okay, same for me.
Okay, first off, his
This
appearance.
is what you meant, like the siege. On,
Yes,
Okay,
CGI
special
the
effects.
post-
Gotcha.
Like
They
post editing.
tried to like. They also tried to DH him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just looked. It looked weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something about it.
Like I
and
would have been okay with it, and also to. I mean, okay.
I honestly didn't think it was a super important aspect.
I
of the
didn't
film.
think it was
I could have done
necessary.
without it.
I didn't think that it was necessary to see him
Yes.
like that.
I
and
would have
also-
loved knowing that yes, she is their like secret
Yes.
love child of some other person.
Yeah.
Which I was just like, how the hell did Billy have time to get
I was
around
like,
to someone
who is this
else?
other
I
bitch?
guess when he wasn't fucking Sydney.
Yeah, for the whole year.
Yeah, he was probably fucking someone else.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I personally, everything about this film I thought was very wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Was not a fan of this, of seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't.
I didn't think it was necessary.
Mhm.
I get what they were trying to do and like play it back and homage to that as well. Kind of give Skeet Ulrich a moment too to be in it, since like he was such a big part of the
Huge part.
pillar of the first
Yeah.
movie. You know, he was original Ghostface.
The original Ghostface, yeah.
Like,
but it almost was like a redeeming factor for him too. Like
yeah.
he was helping her, and I was like, "No, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, you're
Fuck
still
you.
a serial killer.
Your motive was shit.
Mm-hmm.
You're mad because your mommy didn't come home
Like
or something.
that's on her.
I'm sorry.
And you and yeah,
Yeah, all of
it's not
us.
Sydney's fault or
have
Maureen
parents-
Prescott's fault
Yeah,
that make mistakes.
and not enough to where you want to murder her
Mhm.
and then kill her daughter.
Yeah.
Like, no. And so they're just, that to me, I was like, I appreciated seeing
Mm-hmm.
Billy back in there.
I just didn't like it.
I didn't like the way that it happened.
Mhm.
Had it been like a flashback
Or
or
a
something,
dream sequence.
Yes.
And that would have played homage to Scream 3
Mhm.
because she had dream sequences with her mom.
That's right.
And that would have
been
made more,
amazing.
and that would have made more sense
That
to me
really would have
for
been
her
so
to have
good.
had, especially in the moments where she was sleeping in the room with Tara.
Yeah.
Like more sense to me her have a dream sequence with him then
Than
popping up there, and
hallucinations.
then and I didn't think it was necessary for them to even DH and for him to be like the H he is now, like as like what she would imagine he'd be
Exactly.
as said father.
Because her mother looked like,
Spoiler alert, you guys, she's Billy Loomis's kid.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't say
Yeah.
it yet.
So that's why she's seeing these visions of him, hallucinations, and which like this is a real thing. Hallucinations and seeing things that are not there
Yeah,
are a
for
real
certain,
thing.
Yeah.
However, and then I feel like they really, really, really tried to play on the fact that it almost felt like they were demonizing people who are descendants of people who are murderers.
Oh yeah.
And while mental health disorders do pass down, like I literally have, my main thing is in my family the whole time. And so like it's very real for things to get passed down by that. But
Hereditary.
in Hereditary. Inherently being the child of a serial killer though does not make you evil.
Yeah.
And I feel like they
were really trying to play that up and kind of make like,
because
us
like at
feel
one point
like
she was like, how does it feel, like, are you scared of me now that you know that I'm a serial killer's daughter?
Yeah.
And fucking Richie says, yeah, a little bit. And it's like, no, A, fuck you.
Yeah.
2, she was not raised by this man.
Yeah.
She was raised by a person who thought he was her dad. Sorry. But no, like there's only so much that is like gonna be transferred down.
But it plays up to her arc though, because in her mind, because here we go. Let's follow through. Like she gets attacked.
She does
after taking those pills, after seeing Billy Loomis in the mirror, because Ghostface calls her, and then she's like, "Well, why don't you come get me?" And then he's just like, "Well, I'm here." Like, yeah. Hi.
Surprise, bitch!
I'm in the room. And so then like attacks her. It's this whole scene of her in the little like lounge, flipping tables, chairs, getting tossed around.
Really though, and I'm like, again, where is everyone?
Literally, that's when in every hospital scene, in every horror movie though, it's always like, where are the other patients and hospital? Every time I go to hospital, it's like there's people everywhere, everywhere.
They're packed.
Yeah,
never been
security.
A band. You turn and there's someone.
Yeah, literally.
There's no.
Some
moment to
scribe,
yourself.
some nurse, some doctor, some patients, some people waiting. It's bustling. Like, ooh, bustling. It's bustling. I love that. Take me back. And so she gets attacked. Anyway, she runs out. I'm getting attacked by the killer. He's there.
He's here.
Obviously, the deputy goes in and nobody there.
Okay, first off, Deputy Vincent, played by
Hottie
Chester
Patootie.
I was a fan.
He was very cute.
He was so. I could climb him like a tree. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like,
he
okay,
definitely
Daddy.
gave me some that's exactly what I was gonna say, Daddy vibes.
Even though he also seemed kind of like skittish, like because there's some points where
he was totally
Gail questions him.
Yeah, he was totally
Probably
inadequate
not.
at his job.
Yeah.
He was on his phone. Yeah,
he was.
So waiting. But anyways,
still
it's
would.
the way that you still would, and
still
I would too. And so
look at his smile here. It's winning.
Aww,
so cute.
What was his name?
Chester,
as the character,
Vincent, Deputy Vincent.
That's right. And so obviously Ghostface isn't there, and so she goes back to Tara, and that's when she has that moment where she lets her know, like, this is happening because I found out when I was 13 from one of Mom's old journals that I am Billy Loomis's child. Dad didn't know. I went to go confront Mom. Yada yada yada. A lot of shit happened, and so she then took it upon herself when she left Woodsboro to leave because she was getting in a lot of drugs and alcohol.
She was like, I was filling my system with anything that I could. She was trying to escape
that feeling
from this reality, and
because she felt like she was going to end up like him.
Yeah, and that
Crazy.
is a very understandable and realistic fear that she had. And I do agree with that. I support it. I think that part of the arc was good for her.
For her character.
I just overall could have done without that.
Yeah.
Even if like they still played on that, but with no visions of him. I didn't want to see him that badly in the film that I wanted poorly CGI'd, post-edited versions of him. And so I don't know. Like, sorry, Skeet.
Skeet Ulrich.
You're great.
But we love you, man.
You are great. I feel like they did you a little
But that's
there.
just our opinion.
It is.
And it's all right.
And other people
Still
might have really
movie.
liked it.
Still nice to see you.
It is still nice to see you.
It was still nice to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
After a while, I was like, okay, this is happening. All right, so I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got all that happening. She tells Tara about this, and Tara tells her to fucking leave.
Yes. Also, there were a few moments where I was not a fan of Sam and her acting.
Okay.
That was one of them.
Okay, gotcha.
The way that it was too over the top, which I imagine in a situation like that, your emotions are over.
You're hysterical.
And then there's even times when she was getting like chased by Ghostface in that kitchen scene, break room scene, whatever, that she almost looked like she was smiling.
I didn't catch it.
There are a few times where I saw it and I was just like, what? Which I'm a terrible actress. I was in a zombie movie film in high school for a friend's school project. And the whole time I was just like laughing because I was so fucking awkward.
Yeah.
And it gave me kind of those like a smile that wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah. Okay.
That we caught because it kind of like they had no other choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's not the case, and maybe that's just how she looks afraid.
I didn't have necessarily any big like critiques on her performance,
but
overall, it wasn't also.
I liked her character. I thought she was pretty good. There were just a few moments from her acting wise that I was just like, this is a little
cringe.
kind of cringe. And it also because Tara was stealing the fucking show for me.
She was Jenny Ortega was good the whole movie.
She was doing a phenomenal job. The whole time I was just like, damn, this bitch needs to be the main character because she's good. She is good.
She's talented.
I mean, Sam had a really, really, really good backstory.
Yeah.
And gave you kind of that.
Oh, and it's also
hard,
the overarching, like this is why this is happening.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
this is the whole reason of the movie.
She's a little bit more hardened and callous towards life itself, which gave me very Sidney Prescott vibes, which it was supposed to.
Yeah.
So overall, I see why they chose her.
And how she'll fill in if these movies continue,
exactly.
which they could, as her as the lead.
I just hope Tara has more part.
Yeah. Or
she's great.
Or be the bigger lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's also really cool because I don't remember if it's direct. I would want to say it's directly right after she gets attacked and right before they have the talk with, why it happened. We get to see Sheriff Judy.
That's right.
Yeah.
She showed up and I was like,
to see her again. And it's the way that her like reaction with Sam. I was like, oh, she really don't like Sam.
No, she don't.
She's like, you need to go.
I was like, but I didn't like. I fucking hated Judy. So I was just like,
she's kind of unlikable. She's kind of unlikable.
Even after everything and just personally thinking like I'm not a fan of what just happened with Sam and her performance, especially when Tara came in and was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Fucking leave. And it was so believable. I was still like, I'm on Sam's side. Fuck you, Judy. Fuck you. But then Judy does redeem herself for me. I was actually like,
yeah, I mean, when that scene, I was also,
because she's like my baby boy.
Yeah, when I mean, also too, it's just like, especially with the legacy
Spoiler
characters.
Alert, I cried.
Yeah,
I actually had 2 whole tears come out of my eyeballs.
And especially with the legacy characters, like it holds more sentimental value.
It does. It really does.
And so, yeah. Oh, and I kind of had this side note. Going back to that kitchen, the hospital scene when she's getting attacked and they go back to find that nobody's there. Like, I would really love like a short little like 15-minute compilation video of like Ghostface like leaving these situations and like what does he do? Like hurry up and like take off the like.
He
and then
goes
just, like,
into the janitor's closet.
Like what happened? Like where did they go? Because it happened so quickly. Or like when he got shot like in Scream 3 and was underneath the car but then gone. Like I want to
where's he going? I want to see Ghostface transition.
I want to see them exactly. I want to see how that. I can feel it already being like it's like a comedy, like
it's just like played
comedic.
Like silent film and then it's just sped up and then it's like ding 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 ding
yeah,
like
literally
some little Three Stooges music.
I know what you're talking about exactly.
I could see that. Yeah. I would I would pay money to see that.
So we're gonna continue on because we still have to get through a lot more of this movie. Yeah. And so we're gonna go find Dewey. And Richie, her boyfriend, is gonna go with Sam, and they're gonna like go figure it out on their own because she's not gonna leave it up to the cops or anything like that at this point.
First off, though, they're in the room after the attack happened, right? And they're with both Richie and Amber, right? Because then she comes in, they're like, well, where were you during this attack? And she was like, I was being investigated by the police. And then he was in there also, who has never seen any of the Stab movies, he says. And then he's watching them kind of religiously throughout while Sam is sleeping there
Tara.
And, watching over Tara. And so he was watching the Stab films throughout. And then it also gets into some that you love him. What's his name? The YouTube.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh,
when I saw it, I was like, "Josh is gonna be so excited." Do you understand how hard it was for me to not mention that to you?
Oh my god! Do you not understand that in the moment that happened in the theater, I literally like lit up like a proud mother.
So he does
like
the kill counts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if y'all, there's this YouTube channel called Dead Meat. James A. Janice is the host.
Yeah.
And he has this one segment called Kill Count where he just goes over like,
the biggest kills.
Over all the horror movies and he ranks them and all this type of stuff. It's really
he's very good.
He does amazing work. I love it. And I just also just personally love like his like personality.
Yeah.
Like it just shines through his clips. And so anyways, when I saw him and Chelsea, they're about to get married, his fiance.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so sweet. I didn't realize that.
I was so excited for them and like it was so cool and I was just like, wow, that's awesome.
I just like I've watched I've watched a good amount of his stuff, but I knew that you loved him. And so when I saw that in the theaters, I was like, oh damn it, I wish Josh was here right now, because I was like, he's gonna be so excited. And then I saw you that night and I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything. I was like, ah.
I love it.
Anyways.
Yeah. I was so excited.
The whole time throughout the movie, Richie is doing like kind of recon. He's researching on the films,
on the stabs, because he supposedly had never seen them before, and which is a big farce.
Yeah, as we find out, he's just literally obsessed.
The biggest fan.
Yeah.
And so
but now they've gone to go find Dewey.
Yeah, they're going to find Dewey.
Oh, but yeah, sorry, Amber and I meant to say, Amber and Richie were pointing the finger at each other, though. Yeah. They were trying to they were giving each other like these false alibi kind of things. Yeah. And so for the ending, I think that was a really important scene. Yeah. A very crucial scene to have been like paying attention. And then in that moment again is where I went, yeah, no, it's these two.
I still
in my head, that's where it clicked.
I still wasn't this point.
Well, no, it literally clicked the moment I saw both of them. The moment that I saw the way she was acting towards Tara in that hospital room, and the moment, literally, he didn't even have to talk. The moment he sat down next to her, I was like, it's that motherfucker.
He looks like a killer.
I've dated so many shitheads.
Crazy eyes.
That I can tell.
And so, yeah, they're going to find Dewey. Dewey's now living in like this trailer park in a trailer.
Dewey's gone a little downhill.
Yeah, kind of let himself go. He looks like he's been down and out.
He's had some rough
times. Yeah. And so it's the way that he's like also though sitting down to watch Gail on TV. So they're not together at this point, obviously.
I was like,
yeah, I know. It's the way that every other movie they are together and not together, and not together.
Got my hopes up.
And so, yeah, they are. Which I mean, it's so funny because like it's even meta on itself because like we talked about,
they were actually split in real life.
Yeah, like so it's like I felt like watching them too. You could tell like there was such chemistry in the way that like they literally just kind of also just they're just.
I felt like they were living their actual lives,
playing their life.
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely got that vibe when they were reunited in that scene. The way that they were talking to each other, it was almost a little too much, a little too long. But then I also was like, well, that pays such good tribute to the fact that in every other movie
they've been the dynamic duo that helps to solve this.
Yes, but then also in every other movie they have a slightly cringy scene that happens too long.
That's true.
So I was
the scene of them in the theater
at the
auditorium. The one in Scream 2 at the college where they're having like that weird like nice streaks.
Yeah. So it gave me very much still those. Because in my head immediately, I was like... And
their conversation in Scream 1 where he's on the steps and she's like, well, where we were like, why is she talking about like liking little boys?
Yes, exactly.
From 12 to 24.
All of them were just... The moment that in my brain, I was like... Because at first the acting, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, man, this is emotional. And then I was like, okay, this is going on a little too long. And then I was like, oh, wait, no. It has to go on too long. It's literally... the point of it, I think, at this point. Yeah. It's not like they're trying to sell a big love story.
And it's such a big...
Clearly, I mean, it's turbulent as fuck.
It's a pivotal part, like, it's a pivotal factor in all the movies, too, them being together, you know?
And I'm glad... For later on, I'm glad they had that moment.
And for the build-up, too, because after all these movies, seeing them, like, knowing that they're going to survive or seeing them together, because it also adds, like, throughout the movies, like, you don't want one... or the other to get killed because like it's
we got so scared when Dewey got stabbed in Scream 2.
It's like because it's like they're the couple, like they've got to survive and stay together and like there's that hope that you're holding out for them.
Exactly.
And so that was a funny noise you made there.
Your throat. I felt it right
here. That's
your
your thrusty.
And my what is this called? Throat pocket.
I call it a thrusty.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yours is better. Mine sounds like some sort of microwave dinner.
Where your clavicle meets right there, that little dip. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Pussy.
And so Dewey gets a knock at the door, and it's a Sam, and he's there to talk to them. To him. Oh my gosh, sorry, you guys.
Sam and Richie are there
to talk to Dewey, and he's like, why should I answer the door? And she's like, because I'm Billy Loomis's daughter. And
he said, Wicca, what?
And then he's like, that's a horrible reason when he opens the door. Yeah.
But he'd still open the door.
Yeah. And lets them in, and they kind of are talking. And that's whenever Dewey points the finger to what's his face?
Richie.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a weird side note. I thought it was so odd how they immediately sat down on his couch. I don't know. I feel like the moment I walk into anyone's house, especially if I don't know them, I'm like standing there until they're like,
stand.
Here, you can sit here. But then also like, I don't know. I just am never like, let me just go plop down on someone's couch.
Yeah.
That was just a weird aside for me.
No, I feel you.
But yes, they're sitting there talking with Dewey, kind of explaining the situation. And then Dewey goes, there are rules. And we had the rules.
Yeah.
Which I don't have listed. One was for sure, always suspect the love interest.
That's the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said some other things that were very spot on and relevant to the film. Maybe we'll have to do another, like,
I'm going to watch it again.
Scream 5 is released.
Yeah.
Though, where we can actually take notes and shit. Maybe we'll have to do maybe like a bonus episode or something like that.
Yeah.
It'd just be kind of fun.
But yeah, he goes over.
He gives us the good list,
just that like Randy would have done in the other movies.
He's basically like, "Look, I've been here, done this. Let me tell you." He did say it's always going to go back to the original.
That's right.
It really plays on the legacy characters.
Oh yeah. So there is, what was that first one again? Oh yeah, always suspect the love interest. It always goes back to the past. And third is that there's always a friend group that the killer is a part of.
Yes. That's he was like, it's someone in your friend group, because they're like, does she have a tightly knit friend group? And they're like, yes,
it's always someone from the friend group.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dewey literally was like,
this is what
he solved the case from the get.
Yeah, literally.
He was just like, it's this and this, and he was exactly right. And then what's his face, Richie, even calls it out at the end when he was like, Dewey got it on the first try. Suspect the love interest.
Yeah.
And so I liked that meta callback too.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Yeah.
Oh. He was like, that line, it made me kind of cringe because it hurt. It didn't hurt, but I was like, oh, that sounds really ugly. Where he was like, do you know what I'm talking about? It was easy to something, and it was easy to fuck you or something like that. And I was like, damn.
And then they said something about like a woman having loose morals empowers you or something. And I was like,
yeah.
I felt a little called out.
Me.
I was like, oh.
Because you're a fatty.
Not me.
And so anyways, yeah, so we have the whole Dewey and their conversation about, what's happening. And so she's like, can you help? And it's like him kind of reluctantly being like,
Oh, I think he said it was easy to find you, even easier to get in your pants.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Sorry. Anyways.
Yeah. And so... Oh, yeah, because he found her at that other city.
Yeah, he literally... Okay, we'll get to that.
And so, yeah, we got this conversation with Dewey, and it's, Dewey reluctantly signs up to help them out. And then we have him calling Sydney, right?
Yes, he called Sydney, let her know. This is where we get to see Sydney. She's living her best life.
She's got some babies.
She's being that white suburban mom, running... with the kids in the stroller. Yeah, she's got a nice little river. She's in her little capri tights and running
She
along.
looked good.
She did. And then she gets that phone call and she goes, hello, and blah, blah. And then she was like, I'm Sydney Prescott.
Yeah.
Of course I have a gun.
He asked her, but did you notice he said, how's Mark? It's Mark Kincaid from Scream 3.
Oh,
he was like, how's Mark?
My God,
she's like, he's good.
Oh.
So she ended up with Mark. So it was pretty cool.
I was wondering where the fuck he was.
Yeah. So it was really nice for him to say, how's Mark? Because
then
I was like,
my mind.
it was like a little Easter egg. I didn't think about it till afterwards.
Oh, I didn't think about it at all.
I was like, oh yeah, that was he's referencing Mark Kincaid.
I love that. So two of the people I suspected the most I suspected Dewey and I suspected the fuck out of Mark.
Yeah. And so they're together, and that's when he's telling her it's happening again. It's the way that her face changed immediately after he says that.
She did such a good job.
Yeah, and
she did such an amazing job.
And so and he's just telling her like, "Don't come here," and she's like, "Don't tell me twice." She's
not
like,
go. Measure, I'm not going back.
And she wasn't planning on going back until we find out, here in a little bit. So we have after that. and he texts Gail like, "Hey, don't come back. The woods." That scene was a bit cringe when he was about to say like, "I still," and
yeah,
I'm like,
I was like, boy, I think I literally went,
yeah, me too.
You better not, boy.
The way he was awkwardly texting Gail
Do
and then
not.
deleting, yeah.
Yes.
So, which I mean, I guess we've all been there.
He was like, the killer is in Woodsboro again. Hope you're doing well, smiley face. And he was like, I probably shouldn't have sent that smiley face. And I was like,
he was about to write, "I
boy,
still
you
love
shouldn't
you,"
have
or
put
something.
that. Yes. And then he was going to put, I still, and I was like, Dewey, choke on those words right now. Because if I was Gail, I would throw up at that.
And so, yeah.
Even though they're sweet and I support Dewey, but I was just, no.
Yeah. And so then after that, I think that's whenever he meets with her, with the friends, the friend group and Sam. And that's whenever we figure out, like the twins are Randy's niece and nephew. There's a whole shrine built to him. Like, obviously his niece is going to, like, she loves the movies just like he did. So they're having this whole conversation about the rules and like suspecting all of them. And she's talking about requels because
Mindy's
she's on her
running
shit
pretty much the whole time. I really loved her. And then when she was a lesbian,
you fell even more in love with her.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, bitch. The way she was like, what's up? To that girl on the couch next to her, and the girl was like, I was like, yay.
Yeah. It was the way this cast too was very, very well, like, diverse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was very 2022 in a film that was trying to emulate 1996.
Yes.
So it was really cool.
It was an updated take on the original. And so good.
Yeah.
I really loved it. I thought they did.
A requel. It's so cool.
It was. And that's why there's no Scream 5. Like, it is Scream.
Yeah. It's literally
so
Scream.
Even
so
then,
it's so meta in on itself. It's just like Scream 2022.
They also had some sort of callback with Scream. At some point,
there was a lot of
they were
different
talking
references.
but they how Scream 4 made that comment of like the 7 and then this and this. There was something about a Scream 5. There was some sort of reference there that was very similar to previous films that I won't remember now. So I apologize for bringing it up at all.
I feel you though. No, it's very, to me, like, it's clever. It's in on itself. Clever. It's like all builds, like I said, like a cake. There's layers to it. And so yeah, they're all.
Mindy is one of us.
Yeah,
she's a boobay.
She would be a boobay for sure. And so we get this whole kind of dialogue between all the characters.
Sorry, both twins are just fucking gorgeous.
They're beautiful.
They're really beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
He's very cute.
Yes.
And so they're all talking, and when you watch it, you can see it. There's just a lot of dialogue between them, and just like them trying to like talk about how they should proceed, I guess, from now on. Especially like Wes has been this whole time too, the one who's telling everybody like, make sure you carry your mace, make sure you do this. He's very like paranoid about what's going on,
like me.
Yeah. Which good on him.
Yes. And
so
I wish it came in handy.
Would have served him well, but no.
He was such a good boy.
He was.
He was like a
and so that's whenever, I think after that, do we have the scene with Wes being at home?
Yes. So what happened in that scene though, they said we have to be careful for the people who are the legacy people. And he goes, well, my mom. And that's when we figure out that he's Judy's son.
Yes. Oh, and we also figured out that the dude, the greaser, was
he skipped his death.
That's right. He died, you guys. He got murdered. He got boinked.
He got dead. He was pissing on a wall and had his arm up all weird, and then
walked to his vehicle and then got stabbed.
I felt like his death was slightly reminiscent of someone's death too when I was watching it, but honestly, again, could have done without his character as a whole.
We get his thread being that he was Stu's nephew.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So the character, the killers were killing people who were related to legacy characters in some way.
That makes sense.
And that was Stu's sister's son.
Okay. There we go.
So that was the thread. But also, too, I do feel like if they would have kept that out, it wouldn't have made a big difference or not. I
still would have been like, okay. Yeah. I'm more focused on
what else is going on over here.
Yeah.
To the actually people that were,
in
watching.
The friend group. Not just some random fuckboy.
Exactly.
And so...
we didn't have any stakes in it,
Yeah, exactly.
Which this movie is kind of basically all about stakes, like the higher the stakes,
Yes.
And so we have.
This is where we figure out that Wes goes.
Oh yeah,
well,
that's right.
Maybe it would be me.
Yeah, because his mom is Judy Hicks.
Who's to figure out who's next to be killed, and then and so then it pans, goes to him in the house, and
we first have Judy. Right, because it has the whole scene of where she's like in the kitchen and
That's
the
right.
door opens and she doesn't know whose
That's
quiet it is.
right.
She's like, hello.
Yes.
And then he doesn't say anything because he's just like me. He's got an Apple AirPod in and he can't hear anything with those things.
Shit.
And so she almost stabs him because she's like, oh my God. And so
because she's like, I've done been like, she had that knife out. She's like, I got shot by one of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
She's got that knife ready.
She was ready.
She didn't hesitate at all the moment she heard that door open. And she was like,
she pulled that knife.
Bunny or something, whatever the fuck she called him. It felt like bunny vibes. And then she was just like shink.
And then we have him.
But also he didn't fucking lock the door behind him. What the hell kind of son is he?
And then,
but maybe he was already there
and that's who came in. And so it's the way that she's gonna go pick up food. And she'll probably be like back in 10 minutes, but she tells him to take a shower. And at that moment, I would have been like, "You're coming with me. We're gonna pick up food."
If I had heard, but she probably just thought because he walked back in not long, she was probably just like, "Oh, it was just him." But I mean, with
everything going on, like
I would have suspected like, no, I know my son knows better than to just leave the door open.
Or I would have just been like, just paranoid parent, come with me. If I'm just going and I'm gonna be back in 10 minutes, you can take a shower when I get back. Granted, they probably still would have been married, but but still,
you don't need a
murdered. Sorry, Bill Murray. And so
Bill freaking Murray.
You shot Bill Murray. And so. Yes.
But yes, I agree. Like, also just fucking eat the sushi, kid. Like, you can take a shower afterwards. That's fine. I ain't gonna be smelling you while we eat.
And so he takes a shower, and that's when we have this whole scene of she's leaving, but she gets a call from Ghostface in the car and like the police vehicle, and he's toying with her.
And she's in her her boobies.
Yeah, her boobies. I noticed her boobies.
I was like, I was like, still like, I don't really like you, Judy Hicks.
Whenever she was in the kitchen, yes.
But them two, she was in her nice little workout gear.
Her push-up bra.
Pushed it up. It's like this one does for me right now.
Yeah.
It made him look really nice. You can't tell because I'm in a sweater.
She was looking good.
I was like,
Miss Judy Hicks.
I think I even leaned over to Ryan and was like, her titties look real good. And Ryan was like, okay.
Weirdo.
I was like, why are you looking at fucking titties?
Oh, gosh, yeah. And so anyways, we have this whole scene of him toying with her, and he then gets to basically say like, something along the lines of, you're giving me just enough time like to get Wes, basically. And so she literally pulls a Yui.
She does. She flips them lights
so
on
fast.
so fast, almost creates traffic accidents.
Yeah, because she's trying to get to Wes. And we get this whole scene of him in the shower.
And
I appreciated it greatly.
Oh yes, me too. But I loved that she had the call traced.
Yeah, she was
trying. She was really trying. But then yes, the moment he started, I was like, show us a little more. They got pretty
low
close.
there.
They did. They got really low, and I was like,
so it's the way that it's building up this hype because he's in the shower and you think it's going to be a psycho scene, and that gets referenced by Ghostface as well.
Does.
And so
I loved that.
Then he ends
Call
up
back to
coming
Loomis and for
all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, and
someone's last name was Carpenter.
Samantha.
Sam Carpenter.
Tara. Their last name is Carpenter.
That's right.
And so and then we have Wes being named Wes. And also at some point, I don't remember where I saw it. They were driving, and there was one of the streets named Elm Street.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it was like a little nice tidbit there.
That's nice.
But yeah, they what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So Judy, whatever, is on her way rushing back to get to Wes, and then he gets out of the shower and he's in the house. She's still not home yet. And it's the way that she gets just home.
She gets home.
While he's still in the shower.
Yeah.
But as she's running up the stairs to run into the house, Ghostface comes out of nowhere. And I was also too like the gall and like the nerve and like the wow
in broad
daylight just guts her
motherfucker
on
the
her
front lawn.
Just gutting her.
Yes.
And I'm like, how is nobody driving by? Nobody's seeing this.
Exactly, because they stabbed her.
Really a lot of times.
So much. They were going ham. Just tink, 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 tink,
literally.
Tink, to like fucking bitch had to have had like at least 20 stab
Gave me
wounds.
Amber vibes.
Yes.
Because she seemed like she really enjoyed the kills.
Yes.
Because she was also the one who did Dewey
I know.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we have...
And the way that she gutted him exactly like Stu said, from groin to sternum.
Yeah, it's crazy. Front and back. Oh, man, it was bad. And so, yeah.
Sorry, I cried.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. And so, yeah, she gets whacked off. And then we got Wes coming out. He's kind of getting everything set for his mom to come home to eat with the food. And then
first off, yes, the best boy award, setting those little plates out and everything. He was doing so well. And then I loved the at least 3, possibly 4, where he's looking in something, closes the door.
There's like two jump scares that they're trying to get you with.
Yes,
3.
My bad. Yeah, it happened multiple times.
Yeah.
They were just edging you
It was
the
the
fuck
cabinet.
out.
It was the fridge.
Yeah, because he looks in the pantry, cabinet, fridge,
and then the front door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he does a smart thing, I guess, and then finally like closes the door and locks it. But at this point, you already know Ghostface is in the house. Turns around and bam, stabs. Yep. I really loved this kill. Stabs him so good, so well done.
The way that it looked,
it looked
going
so
through
fucking real.
His little jugular,
and then coming through the other side.
The way that you could see it
protrude through the skin,
poking on the skin, and then it emerges, and it was like.
It was awesome. And then the way Ghostface pulled it just out so like cleanly and fast, and it was just like, ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had they not given him probably him and Dewey, the two, that kill was so simple, but so good. I really loved it.
Dewey's
kill?
Wes's kill, yeah.
I was like, had they not given him the best kill, because his name is Wes.
Yeah.
But also a Dewey, because Dewey is fucking Dewey. Dewey got dead. Dewey died. Like, there was no, that motherfucker dead.
It was bad. Yeah.
But this one was really good. I loved it. It was him and Dewey, arguably best kills in the film.
Yeah, most definitely. And then that's when we get this is right after this. Obviously they're dead, so we get a crime scene, and that's when we get reunited with Gail Weathers, because she's coming back, and she sees Sam out, and she's just like, they're like, oh, she didn't make it, I know her son, kind of thing. And that's whenever Sam says about Judy, yeah, she didn't really like me. Yeah. And then Gail was like, she didn't like me either. Yeah, I thought that was a really funny callback and joke too. I did too. And yeah, so we get Gail then reuniting with Dewey Riley, and it's the way she also she's like, I'm Gail Riley. I mean Weathers. And so,
and it was like, so
this is that moment we were talking about earlier.
She still has. They still have feelings for each other.
Oh yeah,
clearly.
And they have a long history together, and probably a lot of trauma, bonding.
Oh my god, yes,
so much trauma bonding.
Yeah, and it was good.
And so yeah, they're reunited, and they kind of had this whole moment that we talked about earlier. They're just kind of like,
very heated, very passionate. Again, drawn on a little too long, but it wouldn't be a Scream film without it.
Yeah.
I do feel that is one of the key points.
And it's a pivotal scene right before what happens next, because then we have him going to the hospital, right? To help.
Yes. So
Sam.
This is, again, why I think this scene was so important. I was glad. That cheesy as it was, I was glad that it happened, that they had this slight little moment of closure, knowing that they still cared about each other. And then, so Sam gets a call from Tara, because at this point it has kind of switched over to Tara. Again, fucking Halloween 2, vacant as fuck, hospital, dark, in the middle of the fucking day.
Yeah.
You know it was in the middle of the fucking day, because Sam and Dewey hop in the car.
It's happening
in
right
broad
now in
daylight.
Real time. Yeah.
Right after this murder.
Yeah.
But yet all the lights are off. Everything's gone. No one is there.
They did it. I don't know.
Maybe they did. We find one of the security guards.
Yeah.
Fucking dead. And that's when, so Sam, that's right. Sam looks over. She sees Daddy Cop, Vincent, Deputy Daddy. She sees Deputy Daddy, and she goes, why the fuck are you not
at the crime scene?
Why are you not
at the hospital.
Protecting my sister?
Yeah.
That is literally, that is your fucking job.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck? And he was like, my sheriff was just murdered. Of course I'm here. And then it's like, I kind of get you. I'm only probably understanding you because you're hot.
Yeah.
That's a red flag of mine.
That's it.
But B, no. I'm sorry. Your job comes when you are a person of the law.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally, you just sacrificed another human because you went to go see this already dead person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. They're already fucking dead.
And they
don't need no help. They don't need no help. There's nothing you can do. They're fucking dead.
Yeah.
So you protect the one who's there. And that's when Sam's like,
So
I'm getting in the car.
Yeah.
And that's when we see Tara.
Well, in this whole sequence, Tara's at the hospital. She hears that the door's opening, all the lights turned off, and so then she gets out of her bed and she's like, trying to will, and it's really cringe.
Was she not?
Her, like,
she was watching a horror film too, wasn't she?
I can't remember.
I feel like maybe there was some. I think she was it not the Babadook. The Babadook has another callback at some point.
At the end,
it's at the
she's
end.
Like, I really prefer the Babadook still.
Okay, that's right. It was at the end. I was like, I know it comes back a second time.
Yeah.
But yes, oh God. Yeah, when she was getting up, I was like, girl, you've just been stabbed like 80 times.
You really feel her pain because she's really such a good actress, and so you can see it. Like, she's really doing well portraying that.
And she got stabbed through the hand in the beginning, and so she gets into the. So not only we did mention her ankle snapped, but at one of the points she tries to block the knife, and it goes through her hand.
Yeah. And so she's trying to will, and like you can see the blood, and like the wound is obviously getting agitated.
Yeah. And it just, God,
because it's not healed.
It's
still
so
an open wound.
much.
Yeah. And so she's trying to make her way through the hospital. And she finds that dead deputy there, and so she's freaking out. She tries to get the gun, but he has no gun, so she's trying to wheel away. And at that point, that's whenever Richie comes, because she's hiding in one of the hospital rooms, and Richie opens the door like, hey, and she's like, oh my God, and she almost hits him she does hit him with the phone. And then that's whenever Ghostface comes in, because at first she's like, where were you, and it's making you question him, but then Ghostface comes in and attacks him. So then you're obviously kind of like, well, maybe it's not him.
Yeah, I still thought it was
him. No, but it's the way that, so I was leaning both ways, because he got slashed in the arm,
which is very much
call
like
back to Jill, who got slashed in the arm, and Scream 2, her boyfriend. But he wasn't the killer.
That's true.
So that's why I was like, it was a 50-50, because I was like, well, it happened to Jill, but it also happened to not the killer.
It's really making you, I just had some sort of internalized bias where I was like, nah, I don't trust this motherfucker.
It was him.
But otherwise, that would have had me toying as well.
Yeah, so it's like, it could or it could not be him for those both obvious reasons. So it's like, it could lean either way.
And the way that so then Sam gets the call from Ghostface as she's speeding towards the hospital with Dewey. Dewey was like, I'm going to bum a ride because obviously you need some more fucking help because homeboy just ditched his post.
Yeah.
And
so
he's coming.
And Ghostface does, and then at this point, then
he's making her choose.
Yeah, because he's basically trying to make Sam choose between Richie or Tara, if like who to kill.
And oh God, he's really fucking up Tara again now.
Yeah, poor Tara.
Yeah, God.
Throughout this whole movie? Throughout the whole movie.
Poor Tara.
Yeah, like literally
poor
she's
girl.
Like,
she was the like pawn.
She was literally like a little punching bag the whole time.
They were just like, how can we fuck up Tara? Because it was gonna affect Sam.
Yeah. And so then we have her on the floor crawling away, which the scene is just so brutal. And then finally Sam is like, I was just stalling, and she opens up the elevator
she's like,
door.
Oh, if I was just stalling, motherfucker. And I was like,
shoots him. It's this whole scene. And then finally we get Dewey shooting Ghostface, and Ghostface crashes into like this cabinet area thing, and it's like,
it looks like a fucking trophy case.
I was like, it did. Very high school.
I was like,
and
what?
So,
I was like, are we in a high school or is this a
hospital?
And
so Dewey gets everybody to the elevator, but he stays behind because he's like, I'm gonna go shoot him in the head. You always have to shoot the killer in the head.
Yeah, and at that moment I was like, and Dewey's dead.
Yep.
Dewey's dead.
And then Dewey obviously goes, and right before he pulls
even Ryan leaned over at this point and was like, there goes Dewey.
Yeah.
And I was like,
because Dewey gets a phone call and is distracted for a moment, and then Ghostface gets up and
it was Gail.
And
Gail was calling to see where he went. So Gail's name pops up because he goes right up to the killer, and instead of shooting them kill shot in the head right then,
waits for a whole second.
Yeah, he waits for just a second. He hesitates,
to get that phone call.
Gets the phone call, sees Gail's name. Obviously, he's got such an emotional tie to Gail that is going to essentially displace him, take his body from the situation that it's in, because he's got so much trauma associated with her / love and everything for her that, I mean, life or death or not, like this thing that he cares about arguably equally as much, because it's kind of clear he doesn't have much
Yeah, that's all he has.
Resolve for his own life. Like he's not sitting there taking the best care of himself.
Yeah.
And so
well, even in the way that he's already willing to like put himself in the line of fire. Like, all right, let's go do that shit.
And so then just like we said earlier, as Stu mentioned on the iconic water fountain scene, they go, how do you gut someone? He goes, well, you gut them from groin to sternum. That's what they did.
Yeah, to Dewey. It was really
literally
brutal.
Like, and it was slow.
Yeah.
He
really suffered.
Milked it. He did.
And then Ghostface is like, it was an honor, which I really loved.
Yes. And I was like,
it was an honor.
I was like, good. But then also, and I didn't cry then. I cried when Gail found out. When we saw Gail sitting in the hospital waiting room. And she started talking about it. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah, between her and Sam.
Legit had 2 tears come out my face. I looked around and I was like, oh, bitch, I'm actually fucking crying. He was like,
I was pretty sad too. I was pretty sad. I didn't cry, but it was really sad. And whenever he was dying, I was like, oh fuck. I was almost in like disbelief. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. Like we're killing off Dewey. Like we're killing Dewey. Wow, we're killing.
This is happening. Is this real life?
Wow, we're killing Dewey. All right, we're killing. Like literally the whole time.
We went there.
We're killing Dewey. Like, oh, they really ain't fucking
this
around.
This is not a drill.
They weren't. Yeah, because in every other movie. Or at least
he's got at least in 2.
Or he almost dies. And then it's like, oh, wow. Like
so they faked us once and then...
Faked us again. And they faked us in the first one and faked us in the second one. That's what it was. And then they stopped doing that. But yeah.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame on me. What?
It's the way that in the fourth one, they faked us out with Gail because we thought Gail died.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, God, man. It was rough. I was upset. Oh. Dewey. Dewey. Let's Dewey. Raise one.
Boom.
Our man.
And so yeah. Dewey's dead. And we have Sam and Miss Weathers talking, and then right after that, which is just kind of a little, she's just giving her condolences basically, and then she gets called back because Tara wants to see her or something like that, or she's awake.
But then Sydney shows up
and she starts talking to Gail, and she's, obviously it's so nice. It's obviously like, I loved the moment that Gail recognized her too, because you saw in between them like the love and like man, like the way that they love Dewey as well. Like damn, like they were hurting.
Yeah, and then also they're the only 2 now.
Yeah,
they're the only survivors from the original. They've been through so much shit.
So
together,
many people died,
and now we've got 2 badass fucking women coming at it together. And honestly, in Scream 6, if they're not together, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah,
I'll just say it right now. I'm gonna be
better
mad.
not CGI them in.
Yeah.
And so then we have a confrontation between Sam wants we're still gonna watch it, and Sam wants to take Tara away. She's like, we're gonna get out of this town. And so we have Sydney then talking to Sam, being like, wherever you go, if you leave, it's gonna follow you.
She's like, bitch, I tried.
And they won't rest until you're dead or they're dead. So, and I love how Sam is like, I'm leaving and you should leave too. And I love how Sydney, especially in this line, is like, I'm a mom. I have kids now. I'm not going to rest until this guy is dead.
In the fucking ground.
In the ground.
Yeah.
Literally. It gave me very like Laurie Strode vibes from the new Halloweens, but like, I don't know, better for me anyways. And so it was just really cool and really nice to see like her as a
mom.
Yeah. And her, it was
Mama
very mom
bear
vibes.
moment.
And then also too, it's just like in the arc of the character from all these movies into now, like she was like, I ain't playing no games.
Listen here, you little shit.
Yeah.
Sit down, motherfucker.
Because Sam is like, so you want me to like help you commit murder?
A little bit rude to her at first, and I was like,
because Gail had to be like, respect who you're talking to.
Yeah. I was like, we don't talk to Sydney Prescott that way.
Yeah. And so it's the way that like Sydney's just like, I'm going to murder this person, so help me kill them. And so, because she's
and then both her and Gail are like, I don't see the issue.
Yeah. Like,
murder this fucker. He's murdering all your friends.
Yeah.
Murder this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If someone came through and was killing all of our WA group, we got t-shirts. We got 2 t-shirts for our friends.
Boopy-doop-doop. I got it on.
Josh is wearing it right now.
And so,
I'm going to kill anyone who comes as killing y'all off. Fuck y'all.
So it's
not fuck you off.
No, but
fuck
yeah. And so, we then Sam's like, nah, I'm still gonna leave. We're getting out of town. And it's the way that even at this point I was kind of like, okay, dude is like really eager to leave. Like that's sus. Richie. And so
Yeah, he was overplaying it too much because especially when they were in the car and Tara didn't have first off Sydney put a tracker on the car,
yeah.
which is a big moment, it's an important information, not a super pivotal scene, but just important to know. But they're leaving town. Tara, as we found out in the beginning, is asthmatic. Yeah.
So she needs her inhaler, and she's like, "I have a spare one at Amber's." And so she wants to go to Amber's, and Sam's like, "Okay," but he's like, "No, I don't want to stop." And then finally, he's like, "Okay, fine." And then they go to Amber's, right? And at this point, we have Sydney and Gail tracking them, so they're trying to get all the way over there.
Then we see that Amber's having a fucking house party while her friend is in the hospital, and
well, it was supposed to be a memorial for
just been,
Wes, but it turns into a party. But obviously, it was obviously going to be a party.
Yeah.
But obviously, she planned that because it pays homage to, and obviously, this house that they're going to is Stu Macher's house from the original. So, and I loved all the camera work that they did when they were in this house and panning to the house.
Because beforehand I was like, something about this house feels familiar because they don't show you. They don't show you until there's a big reveal, kind of. But then like the vibes in it, I was just like, oh, something feels familiar.
Yeah.
And then once they get to the entryway, I swear to God, they were like, let's find the exact rug that Stu's family had.
They left it. A lot of that stuff is still there.
The wall color, everything was the same.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel like it was.
No, a lot of stuff is still the same. They haven't changed it because of that purpose of its legacy.
That's fucking weird.
It's owned by some farmer now.
I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
The actual house?
The actual house, yeah.
Is it in California for real?
It's in California for real.
Oh my God, let's take a road trip.
We should go.
Let's go right now.
I think that it's probably expensive, but I think they rent it out. Yeah. So you can stay there.
Madame Laveau's and American Horror Story Coven. That one is an Airbnb and LA. Nope.
New Orleans. Nolans, yeah.
LA.
But I want to go to the Hotel Cecil.
Yes, I do.
Well, Joe Cortez.
Well,
and so
is the Cecil still actually up?
I think so.
I think it's just not functioning anymore. I feel like at one point they were going to demolish it though.
It's attached to another. There was a whole like documentary on, I think, like 2020. It's still up. It's like got renovated and it's attached to another. I was supposed to say hospital.
Oh, okay.
Hotel.
You're talking about the what's her face, who died in the water tank. The Hotel Cecil documentary.
Yeah.
Okay,
Isn't that it?
Yeah. They had renovated at that point, and I just didn't know if they had like officially shut it down to where you can't stay there anymore or what.
Sure.
I don't know. Anyway,
at this point, they probably keep it open to cash in on people who like us who like to go stay at
I mean, I would definitely
hotels.
go to Skid Row to stay in Hotel Cecil. I'm the Cecil Hotel. Like, Richard Ramirez was here. What?
Literally. And so then we have, this whole scene of this whole house party happening. It's in honor of Wes, and I love how they cheer to Wes in it because it's also a callback to Wes Craven, who's
It's just
passed away.
A whole big old scene of their hands going together with beers, and they're going, for Wes. And it was like, I had my little water bottle. And it was like, for Wes. In the theater with him. And I thought that was such a good scene. And then I liked that especially at the ending credits too, the first words were just for Wes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and the old kind of title sequence, credit sequence type of lettering. And good. So we have this whole house party going on. The whole kind of vibe of like the kids like hanging out. Amber is kind of giving like, this was supposed to be a memorial and now it's a party, but like, oh, whatever, like it's a party.
Yeah.
And then we have Mindy in the same living room as Randy was in, and then that was in the movie in Stab, and so it's all meta, and all the like. It's basically a reenactment of the original.
I will say this living room did look just different enough that I didn't quite recognize it. And then the basement. Well, because they went to the basement because it wasn't a garage. Yeah, it wasn't a garage. It was a basement.
It's a basement. Yeah.
But yes, Amber goes down there to get beer and then Mindy was like. Mindy had said, like, are you going to get more beer or something? And Amber was like, I'll get it. And then Mindy, follows her down there and is like, why didn't you ask me to come with you? Kind of thing.
That was your mistake. You'd be dead. Yeah.
You'd be dead.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, it kind of makes you think it's Mindy. And then I love
their little interaction.
Well, yes. But on the corner of the wall it was literally just, it's like that thing, like when you're asleep at 3 a.m. or something, and you wake up and your clothes piled in the chair looks like a woman sitting there. they had this black sheet covering what I assumed was maybe like a rake or something. But then there was a little white piece of fabric over it. So it looked just enough like Ghostface.
From the peripheral, yeah.
Yes. And it was in the corner. And it was in there the whole time. It never moves or does anything. Yeah. But I do, if it wasn't intentional, whatever, good job. But it was there enough that I noticed it and was like, that's a nice little, because then it's like almost like, oh, fuck, is Ghost? Because you don't know.
It psychs you out.
He pops out from nowhere.
It psychs you out.
Yeah. And so the whole time I was like, oh, shit. Where's he going to come from? Where's he going to come from? And then she closes the fridge door, and that's when Mindy pops up, right? Yeah. So we do get the fridge door scare there, which is like...
And it's very
because they psyched us out Tatum so many times with Wes, too.
Yeah. And it's very Tatum.
It is.
So they're having this little interaction where...
Mindy is very much a Tatum.
Yeah. And they're like... You're the killer. No, I'm the killer. No, I'm the killer. No, you could be the killer. Yeah. It's really weird. So it's like, and it just plays into
makes
like
you
don't
question
know
everything.
Who it is.
Yeah.
And so then they finally go up the stairs, and then we're back into the party, and that's whenever, Chaz leaves because he's trying to find his girlfriend because she got upset because she was finally trying to sleep with him, but he's like, I don't know if I'm like 95% sure that you're not the killer, but you might be.
Honestly, fucking kudos to him.
Yeah.
Like, because at this point, always suspect the love interest. You can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
In this world, no, you can't. Because, not this world, but in the Scream franchise. World, and also in real life. You can't trust anyone. But, like,
yeah, I feel that.
I was like, the moment he said that, and she got so upset, which, honestly, I would too.
If you're H word.
Yeah. But, like, just, I had to applaud him in that moment. I was like, good job, Chad. Good job. You're fucking Chad.
Yeah, he's being smart.
But thank you for calling that out.
Well, he's not smart ultimately, because then he goes out to look for her because he made her mad.
And yes, so at the very beginning in that high school, the little scene before they go to see Tara for the first time, he's trying to get her to share her location with him.
Yeah.
Like a Find My Family, or what's that? That Life 360 or whatever.
Something like that.
It's
Friends
one of those apps,
360 or something like that.
Yeah, where you can view someone's
location
at any point in time.
Location. Yeah.
Which is like
iPhones. Yeah.
I mean, I share locations like if I'm going to someone.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like no one has my location all the time.
Some people do that. Yeah.
Kind of weird. I remember my father asked me to do that once, and I was just like, no, I don't need you to know where I am
at all times. Yeah.
Yeah, but then like ultimately, if I was getting murdered, that would be a good handy.
Yeah.
Maybe I should share that with someone.
With someone trusted who you won't feel will be like stalking
Josh, are you gonna murder me?
No.
I'll share with you.
Okay. Works out.
And deal.
Yep.
But like, so she had finally, as he went to go search for her, he got a notification that said she had begun sharing her location with him. Yeah. And so he's using his phone, this app, to search for her outdoors. And it leads him into shrubs, which is, I would have been, I would have been like, and then he's I think the fuck not.
And he says like, nah, this is sus. And then, like, as soon as he's backing away, though, he gets attacked by Ghostface. And then, he gets a good one in on Ghostface, and he gets to get away, but not before Ghostface stabs him in the leg. So he's like injured really bad, actually. He's bleeding a lot, and he's trying to get away. And it's this whole scene with him holding the phone, the tracker. He knows
Ghostface has the phone now.
The location, and so they're like going back and forth.
But he can't turn, like, with the blood on his fingers and everything, much like the opening sequence with the unlocking and locking of the doors. He's having trouble stopping this sharing. Yeah. And to the point where he just yeets his phone. Yeah. He's like,
it's gone.
He chunks it.
Yeah.
And he decides to then run. He's at the back of the house.
In the same direction, which I'm like, oh,
yeah, I know, run the other way.
Yeah, and then Ghostface comes out of a shed and attacks him and starts stabbing him until these headlights beam on Ghostface, and Ghostface yeets away out of there, and it just happens to be Sam and Richie and Tara pulling in.
And that's when they make it to the party. And they come in, and they're ultimately skeptical of the fact that a party is happening. Like, hey, Amber, we need you to go get her spare inhaler. Also, why the fuck are you having a party?
Yeah.
What the hell? And then at this point, again, I was like, something between the two of them with the way that he was immediately like, okay, everybody out, starts flashing the lights and stuff.
Just like Stu. Party's over. You got time to go.
Same vibes. And so it's so good. So good. And then Amber goes upstairs with. Does Tara go with her?
Tara goes with her.
Yeah,
because
so Tara
they're gonna
goes
go
with
get the
her.
inhaler.
And because Tara trusts her, rightly so, it's her best friend at this point.
Yeah, and so she goes up with her, and then that's whenever we get a scene of what's her face? Mindy is in the living room, and that's whenever she's like watching the same scene where Randy's like being like, look
and
behind
she's like,
you,
turn
it's
around,
behind
turn
you.
around. So it was
and
like
so finally
Inception movie
Inception
within a movie within a movie.
And so that's when we were thinking like, turn around, girl, and she actually does.
She turn around and she does,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh fuck.
Shit, and she gets attacked a little bit. But at that point, that's whenever he gets. Then who attacks Ghostface? Sam. Sam comes in.
I think so.
Sam comes in and tries to fend off Ghostface, and then that's whenever someone
finds her. I think Ghostface had like left just in time, and then so she finds Mindy down on the ground.
That's right.
Amber comes back through and is like, oh, and at this point, Liv had already come in looking for Chad, and Mindy was like, yo, Chad left looking for you. How do I know you're not the killer? And then Liv gives us real sus vibes by being like, you're gonna get it next. Kind of thing, like slicing her thumb across her throat kind of thing. Yeah. Real like, no, I still don't trust this bitch. And then she leaves again to go find Chad. And then as this is happening, yes, Sam comes in. She finds Mindy. Amber comes down, is pointing fingers at Sam and being like, why, like, you're here with this bloodied victim. And then Liv runs in and is like, what the hell? And her hands are now covered in blood.
Because she found Chad.
And so then it's this kind of like point and like, who's doing it? Who's doing it? At this point, what's his face is downstairs, Richie,
but he comes up just in time.
He comes up just in time.
Because they're like, it's you and it's you. And he was like, I was getting beer. And then that's whenever Amber
goes, well, I know it's not you because I'm the killer.
And then shoots Liv in the head.
Yep. And I went, called it.
Yeah. And I love the addition of her shooting someone. Like I thought it was pretty good as opposed to stab.
Yeah.
And so
right through the brain. She got that kill shot immediately.
Yep. And she shoots Liv, and that's when everybody's like, "Oh shit!" Literally,
yep. And
everybody starts freaking out, like because
disperse
literally because she's got the gun, and then she takes Tara away. Upstairs, I guess, or something like that. At that point, wherever she takes her.
And this is where Richie comes in and he's like, how do you know? He was like, there's
because they go into the basement again.
Right,
Him and Sam go into the basement as they're getting away. And that's whenever he's like telling her, like, how do you know, like, it's not Tara? That could be the killer. And that's whenever she's like,
and it plants that little seed of doubt in your head. And so like, even though I was like 100% certain literally from the get that it was him, I still was like, so whenever Sam gets up there and like finds her and is going to uncover her mouth, I was like, maybe fuck, maybe don't do that. I don't trust myself that much.
Yeah.
Like, shit, she might be the bad guy too. So I don't know.
We have a lot of seeds of doubt here. So then she's trying to save Tara, but it cuts off.
But Tara really would have gotten herself fucked up for this movie.
I know, right? But
like,
so it could have been Jill vibes. Like she was that committed enough to like allow this to happen.
She did do some fucked up shit. Yeah. Okay.
And so I was like, because she could be that psychotic and like have that much resentment because her sister left her kind of thing. And so like, and she found the same diary and like, this is like her getting like, I'm going to use these secrets to get you back and I'm gonna kill you.
I hope that's what Scream is.
And so, we have this whole thing of like, what happens after? It cuts off because you don't know if she lets go of Tara just yet, to kind of keep you in suspense. And then that's whenever we have, what is it? Is that when she gets the call from Sydney and she's like, you need to leave that house now because it's Stu's house. And that's when you're like the big reveal. I love that shot.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like, ooh. And so then
I was like, I knew it looked familiar. And then it pans with her at the base of the stairs, and I was like, oh, fuck, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, it is.
And then that's whenever I believe Sydney and Gail arrive, and like we have the Amber bitch come running out like, I've been stabbed, faking it. And I love how Amber or Gail's like, think it's a trap, and Sydney's like, yeah, definitely is. And then Amber's like, fuck it, and starts shooting at them and shoots Gail immediately. Like, and you're like, oh crap,
like, she gets shot
in the gut. Yeah, I thought she really was. I thought at that point I was like, they're gonna kill them all.
Anything's.
I thought that they're gonna kill them all, so that way in the future, like there's no like having to go back to them kind of thing, you know. But
I would have been kind of okay with
it's kind
that.
of new blood, you know, which the
But
new
also
cast
I'm
was
glad
good.
they finished.
Yeah, and so we have all of that, her going back inside because she shot Gail, and then Sydney goes back in with Gail because at first Sydney's like, you need to go to the hospital, and goes like, nah, we're gonna finish this. And so for Dewey, and so they go in there for Dewey, and they go in there, and that's whenever what happens. Oh, Sydney, I love how Sydney's going through the house, and she's like, you know, trying to find whoever's in there on the phone with her.
If anyone's out,
oh yeah, because she's not on the phone yet, and that's whenever she
does find Richie.
Oh, you know what? Because Ghostface does call her, right? And that's whenever she's like, you know, screw this. And she hangs up and he's like, wait, don't go. And I love that part. And so, so she starts shooting all the closets, though, because she knows I am not playing. I'm just going to shoot, not even look. I'm just shooting. That's it. Shoot. She finally shoots in the closet and shoots Richie because he's hiding in there. And that's whenever Richie's like, I was hiding. And then Ghostface pops out of it. The other Ghostface pops out of the other closet and attacks her. And they go over the stairs. I'm like, fuck. Hard fall.
Yeah, it was.
And so, then we have Richie coming to get the gun and he's like hobbling to get the gun. And that's when you figure out that he does get the gun. And then Sam is like telling him to shoot the Ghostface because they're down on the ground or something at that point. But he's like, that's when he reveals,
baby,
like,
it's me.
I'm the killer. Yeah. And so I will say I was kind of like, I see where they went with it, especially their little monologue in the kitchen. I was like, okay, crazed fans. I get it. We haven't done this yet. We'll do it. Cool.
Yeah. Because, they met on a Reddit forum.
Which I kind of felt like gave me Scream 2 vibes whenever the mom met Mickey online. But it was, But so.
A 2020 version.
2022.
Fuck.
And so,
and so time is relevant.
It's really ties in well. I see how it works, but it was also kind of a little bit underwhelming that but I get it, because also throughout the whole thing I was like thinking like they're not going to make it the love interest because it already was the love interest. But then it just makes even more sense that they did make it the love interest, because it just made me even more like doubt myself the whole movie. So I'm like, okay,
it's like the moment that you're like, they wouldn't do this, then you're like,
no, they
wouldn't
this.
And then you're like, oh fuck, but they did. And if they would have done anything else, it would have been bad.
Yeah,
I would have been like, no.
And so it's really
push is coming to shove. A lot of great acting happens here. Again, this is where we have that redeeming arc of Billy Loomis. In the mirror, he's like kind of encouraging Sam to kill or at least injure Richie. Yeah. And that's where the redeeming arc comes in for his for Billy. And I, again, just wasn't a fan of that, because it's like, no, fuck Billy. Yeah. Just because Sam is good doesn't mean Billy gets to be good.
Yep.
And just because Billy is bad doesn't mean Sam gets to be bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't go. Like, they are two separate human beings. They had no interaction with each other's life. And so it's just, I wasn't a fan of that point. Again, was just made me be like, come on.
It turned you off a lot.
Yeah,
okay.
It did.
I feel that.
But the whole acting and the whole back and forth and, people being missing and everything through, we're getting it pretty long here, y'all. So we're trying to
hurry up. We're just going to cut it through the end. But yeah.
And so, maybe you have to go see most of the ending yourself. I mean, you already know that Amber.
But the end scene, the end sequence, honestly, it builds up. This is a movie that, just like a lot of other Wes Craven films, like it keeps going. It's never really like a slow moment, and it just keeps, for me at least, until the final sequence. It's a climax.
Yeah.
And the final scene between both Amber and Richie as well, like, was
also Sydney's
so
been stabbed at this point.
Sydney's
been stabbed or shot again.
And
everyone's bleeding.
Yeah.
Everyone's
and you should.
But
I think we should I think we shouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Fucking go watch this film so you can see
Amber's death. It's very 2020.
It was good.
Very pandemic.
I was like, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Exactly.
It was good.
And then
yes.
Yeah. So
the way she went up, I was like, oh.
I loved it.
I hit Ryan in the shoulder and was like, oh, bitch.
This is it. Yeah.
And it was good.
It was just the over the top that I needed it to be, because it's a fucking fifth film, you know? It's like, yeah.
And then you needed a second, like, I mean, they kill shot Richie. And so we needed
so, yeah.
It was good.
It was a good final little cherry on top.
And we get a nice We get a nice sibling moment between Sam and Tara, and then we get
also,
a very similar pan out.
And we also get
with
to see
a
that
lady
Mindy
in a yellow
and
costume.
Chad survived.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Mindy and Chad survived, and
Yeah.
Sam's just kind of walking around willy nilly, even though she's been stabbed. And then also Courtney Gail and fucking Sydney were sitting there, also kind of unfazed. They're like, we've been stabbed, we've been shot before. It's not
bring the next guy.
Tis but a flesh wound.
Yeah,
like
literally.
we're fine.
Literally,
and
their body has so much trauma to it.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
It was a good ending. It very much was reminiscent of the first. I liked it a lot. So on that note, how many boos?
A 4.
4?
4. I gave it a 4.
You didn't hesitate. I loved it.
I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
Immediately, I was like, okay, this is a 4 for me.
Okay, I honestly hadn't thought of a rating, and I feel like maybe I had more to not like about this film, but I still overall think I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
That I would also give it a 4. Yeah. I thought, and then as for the Scream franchise,
I'll give you my ranking if you want right now.
Okay, yes. Let's hear the ranking of Scream 1 through 5.
Do we want the least to the best? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so least favorite, Scream 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although, take in mind, I love all these movies a lot. So I just mean it's very like this was like nitty gritty, just details. Like
I am wondering like if our actual boo ratings that we gave for each will
reflect
align.
Right.
Yeah.
Scream 2 last, Scream 3 after that, or before that, then Scream 4, then Scream 5, and then Scream 1.
Okay.
I really like this one.
Yes, I did too.
Yeah.
I think for me,
I know you love Scream 3.
Well, yes. I loved them all.
Right.
Scream 2, I really did like Scream 2.
I love Scream 2.
Yeah.
But, and I'm telling you, it was really nitty gritty. I think Scream 4 for you would be the last one.
Really? Okay, now I'm trying to think of which happened in what film. Oh, okay. So Scream 4 had
Jill. Kirby.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. Scream 4 would be the last one for me. So 4, and then I would think I would go 3.
Then 5, 2, 1.
5, 2, 1. I do think is the way I would go.
Yeah. I mean, 2 stands for me as a solid sequel.
I do now, looking back at the motives in the who were Ghostface. I don't know. I feel like 5 would beat 2 for me because Loomis's mother made sense. Homeboy, whatever the fuck his face was, crazy eyes.
Yeah,
didn't really make much sense.
It was
for
very
me.
kind of thrown out there.
Yeah, but then I guess
feel like
I say
3,
that though, and Scream 5 is similar.
But Scream 3 to me
It's
too.
two randos.
But Scream 3 in itself is almost because out of all of them has the most comedy. So it kind of out of all of them, Scream 3 is the most comedic, and its undertones. So I feel like that's where it kind of loses its steam power as much as the other ones in terms of like.
I did really like 2. I think because Randy dies, and as much as that hurts, it was
the payoff
when a major character dies.
It's like us with this one and Dewey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like I have to give 5 a higher rating because Dewey's dead.
Yeah.
We lost
a pivotal player.
We lost this. Yeah. Main
a hero.
We lost an OG. Yeah. We lost an OG.
This one's for Wes and for Dewey.
So, yeah. So yours was 2.
And for Judy's titties.
That's right. And baby Wes's abs.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, mine.
Yeah, I forgot what the order was again.
Oh, it was 3, 2. Oh no, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1.
2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And mine was
4,
3,
5, 2, 1.
5, 2, 1. Yes.
There you go, you guys. If you didn't get it, rewind.
Yay. Okay, we actually do have some people who. So Ryan, as I mentioned, went and saw this film with me, and we talked about it a little bit after the movie, but then I did ask him for in writing.
Yeah.
One, and he says, I mean, I thought it was great. A good. Like it paid good tribute to the old slasher films. And for a slasher movie, he says, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, yeah. Which is what we also gave it.
Thank you, Ryan.
And he says, as an overall horror movie, I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Just because, I mean, if you're looking at it subjectively, not from the actual Scream franchise, sure. That totally makes sense. And then, but with that being in mind, yeah, it makes you think of that. And then we also had one other person message us on the Instagram.
I didn't see.
Okay. It was someone who's also messaged in before. Her name is Kesley.
Okay.
And she says she gives it 3.75 out of 5 boos for Scream 5.
Gotcha.
She said it was super good, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, but the reason for killing is pretty overused, she says. She says needs to stop killing people to make the best stab and have some good old-fashioned murder, she says, which I agree. And then she had also told me personally, she was like, she was a fan of Skeet coming back because she was like, he looks hot. And I had to look it up, and I was like, girl, he's 51. You are 18. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's still young, but yeah.
It is.
It's crazy.
But overall, so a 4 out of 5 boos. Solid 4 from us.
You heard it here straight from your boobays. Go watch it. It's a good one.
2022.
Especially in the movie theater. It's a good experience.
Kind of Wes Craven.
If you can.
Yes. Yeah. Go see it in theaters.
If you can. We understand.
It was
Pandemic
fun
life.
being in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as always, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios.
Thank you.
They are working overtime for us today. This episode came out late because we just scheduling as a fucking
adult
seeing
life.
something where we have to make an actual time to go
for
sit
the
down.
show time at the movie theater. Yeah. Kind of thing. It makes it harder than you just watching it at home.
Than just streaming it whenever you can. Like you can't go see a movie at 6 a.m., which is when I watch most of these films. For us. So they're doing a great job, and if you can, please just go support any of Rogue Media's events and all of the podcasts on their network, because they really do a great job. And so if you want to continue to support us, you can listen to us on a multitude of streaming platforms,
like
biggest ones. Yeah,
I don't know why I said it like that, but like Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
That's right.
And Stitcher, Pandora.
All the things.
YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. We're not on YouTube.
but if you are listening to us there, don't forget to
rate and subscribe, because that's the only way that we can get ahead in life.
And review us, because all those, we read them.
We do.
We don't have a lot, but we do. I sit there and I refresh it every day.
Aww.
So please just give me more things to read.
Tell us how much you like us.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no bad reviews. But also, I still feel like we'd make it if we got a bad one. We've made it, you know?
Yeah, right? Everybody needs one bad review.
But yeah, you can also follow along with us and hear about future events that we do want to do in the future, not only through us, but also Rogue Media. And that is on Instagram.
At Boobays Podcast, all one word. That's BOOBAES for your boobays, not your boobabes.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's all, man. Solid 4. Let's get out of here. I gotta pee.
Me too. All right. Bye, bays.
Bye-bye, bays.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.